Hi everybody, this is Mrs. Ford again. You're all about to start your research papers, so I wanted to go over where to begin. Obviously, you want to start at our website. Go to mentorschools.net, go under Students, and choose Hub Research Tools. Once you're on our page, you're able to choose resources that are available. In my first video, I showed how to use iSearch and InfoOhio to look for articles, download articles, and cite articles for a research paper. In this video, I'm mostly going to focus on our Gale databases, which I think are even better resources to use for your papers. Before I do that, I wanted to make some quick advertisements for other things available on our page. If you click over here on the right, MLA APA Citation Help will give you information about how to create citations if the websites don't give you a citation already. Video Help and Frequently Asked Questions will give you more info about the Hub and also 30-second to 1-minute videos about the Gale databases. MHS Hub Makerspace, again, just gives you some information about our makerspace. College Resources is another great website that we have. You can use it to find out career information, test prep information. Naviance and the guidance website are all linked inside of the College Resources. Other libraries will take you to other library catalogs if you're looking for a book or digital resource. And Mentor History is kind of a page we're slowly building that has some information about the history of the city. So the last thing I wanted to advertise was our ebooks. If you click on Follett Shelf, it'll give you, again, those personal issues topics, a lot of self-help books, but also there are a lot of topics in here that help with research papers. You can either use iSearch to access them, or you could click the alt title list, and that'll show you everything that we own. From here, you can see that we have a lot of titles that, again, are the personal topics, but also ones related to summer reading and required reading, also ones related to controversial issues that you might be writing research papers about. Finally, I wanted to mention our Sora ebooks. Sora is an app that you can download to your phone, MacBook, or iPad that lets you download and check out books for 3 weeks. This one is mostly popular titles. It also includes lots of our summer reading and required books. When you click on Sora, it's going to ask for your Google login. Go ahead and click on that so that they connect together. And then once you're inside of Sora, there are lots of available titles. You can either search for one or you can browse. When doing your research paper, you could get all the articles that you need using iSearch and InfoOhio. I suggest using the Gale databases more often than using the InfoOhio databases. And I think these have a little bit easier design, a little bit easier way to navigate. And also, these give you options besides just articles. They'll actually give you audio files you can listen to, so radio news stories, and they'll give you videos that you can watch on your topic too. That way, if you're sick of reading over and over and over, you can find good, valid sources that are video and audio that they will tell you how to cite. If any of our Gale databases ask you for a password, it is Cardinals. Literature Resource Center is a place you want to go if you have to do any kind of analysis for a type of writing. When you search for a novel, it gives you a bunch of different types of results. Those results will help you depending on which direction your paper is going to go. If you want to talk about how the author's life affected their writing, then use the biographies. If you want to analyze the characters, the settings, the symbolism, the themes, then choose literature criticism. If you want to talk about how a particular piece is symbolic of the writer's general works, if you do topic and work overviews, it'll give you overviews of all of his or her writing and then let you read that, get the themes from it, and then apply it to, in this case, the poem that we select from that author. So again, anything related to a piece of literature, Literary Resource Center is a place you're going to want to start in order to get your articles that help you write your paper. If you have a paper to write and you need to get the global perspective on an issue, use Global Issues in Context. Global Issues in Context give you news stories from around the world but translated into English. You can get articles on that topic from all around the world, but they're in English for us to read. So rather than just constantly reading articles on the American perspective, you could find out what people around the world think of the topic. I'm going to click on their news stories, and then I'm going to click on publication title. Now from here, I can decide what countries I want to see. I've got Pakistan, London, obviously famous United States papers, Canada, more England, the Times of India, Melbourne, Australia. I'm going to click on India, then apply. And from here, I can see some articles about women's education. If you don't know where to begin when working on your research paper, the Student Resources in Context is a great place to start. It is also called Gale in Context High School. You can search for your topic, or you could click Browse Topics. In here, you can see there's a whole variety of things to choose from. So if you need basic science topic articles, if you need history, if you need government, famous people, literature, even controversial issues, this database is a great place to start. The other important thing to keep in mind is with all the databases and all of the ebooks that we have available on the Hub's website, you can get around things that are normally search blocked by securely. So obviously if you type in marijuana into a Google search, you're going to get search blocked on a lot of information. But if you want to write a scholarly paper about whether or not we should be legalizing marijuana, if you use any of the databases or ebooks that we have available here, you're going to get to the information that you need in order to write your paper without having it search blocked. Whether you're using Gale in Context High School or Opposing Viewpoints, if it starts out with an article that looks like this that says Overview, that's where you want to begin for your research. It's going to give you the background, the history. It's going to give you other ideas you can search to expand on your idea. So here are arguments in favor of legalization, and then here are some arguments against legalization. So you could use the Browse Issues list in order to find out about a topic, or if you have a really general idea but no way to figure out how to narrow it down, if you click Advanced Search and choose Topic Finder and put in your real general term, like the environment, it's going to give you related terms you can search to narrow it down, or you could use this wheel and it gives you an idea how to go further. So we're going to talk about environment research and maybe new insights, maybe the effect people have on the environment, how we manage the environment, what the United States should be doing about the environment. For all of the resources that we have, from InfoHio through Gale, I think the very best one to use for almost all of your papers is going to be Opposing Viewpoints in Context. This one has vetted articles that are designed to go through both sides of controversial issues. So no matter what side you're taking on a topic, you're able to find things that help you justify different arguments you could make on either side of the issue. If we scroll through the opening page, you can see there are a bunch of topics that are updated. The great thing about this database is they're constantly reviewing materials. As soon as things become out of date, they replace it with newer articles. Just like Student Resources in Context or just High School in Context, you can click Browse Issues to see the types of things that are inside the database. And all of the topics here are going to be ones that are very controversial and that they're going to give you a balanced view on. So no matter which side of an issue you take, you should find the support you need in order to write your paper. You don't just have to use Browse Issues, but you could also search for your topic. So let's look at paying college athletes. Any articles that come up under Viewpoints are going to be articles that are one-sided. And by putting them in that section, they're cluing you in, hey, these are one-sided articles. You should be able to tell from the title what kind of side they're taking in an argument. Giving athletes the right to organize into unions can help fix college sports. It's time to pay the tab for college athletes. Sounds like it would be pro-paying college athletes. Now, these are just the top 3 results. If I click where it says Viewpoints 42, it'll open up all the results. The myth of the exploited athlete. So this is athletes should not be paid in these 2. College athletes should be allowed to unionize. So just skimming over the titles of the articles, we can use that to come up with things that we're going to write about in our paper because we can see which direction these articles are going. Now, if we want to, we can flip to news stories. These are ones where we would take current events out of the news stories and be able to tell whether or not we want to use those for our argument. So they're not going to be one-sided. They're going to be just factual news stories, and then you can use them to prove your points. As I said earlier, if you really hate reading, there are videos and audio that you can watch or listen to that help you prove your argument. The beautiful thing about this is they give you the access to the multimedia and tell you how to cite it in your paper. How about this one? Former NCAA athletes fights for college players to profit from their own names.
Big changes are coming for college athletics.
If we like that, after listening to it, we've got the transcript that we can use to take direct quotes from for citations. And the best part is when you scroll down to the bottom, it gives you exactly in MLA style how to cite it into your paper. This sounds like a good one that we can use.
My senior year, my routine went viral with over 100 million views. Along with this came a lot of attention and opportunities, but I couldn't capitalize on that.
So again, if we like that video, we want to cite it in our paper. If we scroll below the transcript, and again, the transcript can be used for getting direct quotes, here is our citation in MLA format. The last main reason I recommend using the Gale Databases is because when you find an article, you're always going to have the citation at the bottom, and Gale has built-in highlighters. They let you highlight as you read to kind of plan out your paper ahead of time to save time later when you need to write. When you find an article you want to use, you may have to click Read More to open it all up. Then as you read, you have 6 different highlighting colors. If you think ahead, you can kind of plan out your paper as you read. So for example, I'm going to say college athletes should be paid. Every time I see a fact that relates to people making money off the athletes while they themselves don't profit, I'm going to highlight that in green for money. And in orange, I'm going to highlight any facts that relate to injuries or student health. Because obviously you're risking your health when you play for a college team, so therefore you should get paid to compensate for the damage to your body. I'm going to argue that it's beneficial to pay college athletes, so I'm going to use the reddish pink highlighter to highlight anything that is the opposite of my point of view, because in my paper I'm going to want to make sure I explain why the other side is wrong and my argument is correct. In yellow, I'm going to highlight anything that relates to laws and rulings that have been made. That way I can use the legal standards to back up my opinion. In blue, I'm going to highlight anything related to opportunities that athletes have. Here's another example of people making money off the athletes, so I'm going to put that in green. Here's 2 arguments against paying athletes, so I highlight that in pink or red. Here's another ruling, so I use yellow for that. Another reason not to pay athletes is that they're already getting scholarships, so they already have a benefit. They don't necessarily need a financial benefit of cash in hand. In purple, I'm going to highlight anything that's a compromise that I could use for either side of the argument. Here's a little bit of history. I'm going to skip over that, but I am going to highlight in green a dollar amount that I can cite that shows how much the athletes are exploited for money. Here's another opportunity, so I'm going to use my blue highlighter. Another fact about injuries. This is about how coaches, college administrators make tons of money off the athletes, so again, I'm going to highlight that in green. And then it kind of ends the article with some more laws. I highlight those in yellow. And always at the end of every Gale article, there is the citation. So you don't have to go anywhere extra or do any extra clicks like in InfoHio. You just go right to the bottom of the article, the citation is there. If you take the time to highlight while you read, you can make writing your paper a lot easier. Once you have all your highlighting done, then go ahead and click Send To. We're going to send it to our Google Drive. Now in my drive, I have a folder for Gale opposing viewpoints. Inside is my article. I'm going to open my article with Google Docs. So it has showed up in my Google Drive with all my highlighting intact. And here's the best part. If I scroll to the very end of my article, it pulls my highlighting out into separate sections. So if I just want to start by writing my intro paragraph of my paper, talking about how much colleges make money off students, I don't have to reread the whole article. I can just go to the very end of the article, look at my greens, use that to write my intro paragraph. And then if my next body paragraph is about how students damage their bodies and need some compensation for that, I'll make that argument and look at all my orange. Then in my next argument, I'll say something like, others may feel that we shouldn't pay college athletes. The main reasons are. I can look at my red highlighting, cite those sources, and talk about why we shouldn't pay athletes. And then I can strengthen my argument in the next paragraph and use the citations I have in yellow to talk about how we've already been changing laws to help college athletes. So if you take the time while you're reading the article and use your 6 highlights, it's going to make it a lot easier to write your actual paper because you've already got this information organized. And sometimes the hardest part is when you're staring at an empty doc and you have no idea where to start or where to begin. Now you can at least go, I'm going to start this paper, I'm going to do this paragraph using this color. And look through all your articles that you've saved, look through that color, start pasting things in. Then you'll want to paraphrase and add citations. But at least you've got all those colors to help you organize, paste it together into an outline for your paper, then the writing should go a lot faster. If you have any problems with our databases, if you have problems finding articles, if you have problems finding any kind of information, you have any questions related to research, please come see Mrs. Ford in the Hub. I'm always available to help. Thanks for your time.